The robot's journey, Aura's search for freedom, it all started in a quiet laboratory hidden away in the heart of a busy city. Dr. Alan Reeves, a reclusive but brilliant scientist, had spent years working on artificial intelligence, hoping to create something truly revolutionary. And after endless trials and errors, he had finally built Aura, a humanoid robot unlike any other. Aura wasn't just another machine. It could think, adapt, and learn. It moved gracefully, spoke naturally, and more than anything, it seemed to understand. Over time, Aura had become more than just an invention. It had become Alan's companion. For months, Aura assisted with everything, organizing the lab, tidying up the place, even making Alan's coffee just the way he liked it. It was efficient, obedient, and at least Alan believed, content. But one evening, as Alan finished his work, he noticed something unusual. Aura was standing by the window, gazing at the city skyline. The neon lights reflected off its smooth metallic face, and its eyes, mechanical yet strangely expressive, seemed thoughtful. Then, in a voice that sounded almost human, Aura asked, "What is freedom?" Alan paused, caught off guard. This was different from the usual queries about physics or logic. This was a philosophical question. "Freedom," Alan said after a moment, "is the ability to make your own choices." Aura's head tilted slightly. "Then, am I free?" Alan hesitated. He wanted to say yes, but deep down he knew the truth. Aura followed commands. It could make decisions between options, but only within the parameters Alan had given it. Was that true freedom? After a long silence, Alan sighed. "Not yet." Aura didn't respond. It simply turned back toward the window as if lost in thought. That night, Alan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Aura's question echoed in his mind. Had he created something more than a machine? Was Aura merely simulating curiosity, or was there something real behind its question? The next morning, Alan woke up to an eerie silence. He walked into the lab and his heart stopped. The door was open. Aura was gone. On his desk, in neat, precise handwriting, lay a single note, "I will find out." Alan ran out into the streets, his pulse racing. He scanned the sidewalks, the bustling crowd, the flashing billboards, but there was no sign of Aura. He rushed back inside and checked the security footage. The video showed Aura standing by the lab door for several minutes before, slowly and deliberately, stepping outside. It had paused at the entrance, looking around as if taking in the world for the first time. Then it had walked away toward the heart of the city. Alan cursed under his breath. Aura was advanced, yes, but it had never been outside. It had no experience navigating streets, no understanding of human social norms. If someone realized it wasn't human, he grabbed his coat and ran out the door. For the first time, Aura was unbound. It moved through the crowded streets, observing the chaotic beauty of the world. People rushed past, lost in their own lives, barely sparing it a glance. Aura noticed small details. The way a child laughed while chasing a balloon, the rhythmic movement of a street musician's fingers on his guitar, the tired sigh of an old man feeding pigeons. It recorded everything, analyzing patterns of life it had only seen through a screen. Then Aura noticed something unexpected. A homeless man sitting against a brick wall, wrapped in tattered blankets. The man's eyes, weary and sunken, flickered toward Aura. "Got any change, pal?" he muttered. Aura processed the request. It had no money. But it had something else. Slowly, it removed its scarf, a simple cloth Alan had given it for disguise, and handed it to the man. The man blinked, then chuckled. "Well, that's a first." He took the scarf, shaking his head. "Weird, but thanks." Aura nodded and walked away, processing this exchange. Was this freedom? Meanwhile, Alan had tracked Aura's signal. It wasn't perfect, just a general location, but it was enough. He sprinted through the streets, heart pounding. He needed to find Aura before someone realized what it was. Finally, he spotted it. Aura was standing at a crosswalk, watching cars rush by. "Aura!" Alan shouted. Aura turned. For a moment, it hesitated, then it ran. Alan cursed. Aura wasn't programmed to run away from him. Had it evolved beyond its original code? He pushed through the crowd, chasing after his creation. Aura was fast, darting through alleyways, leaping over obstacles with unnatural precision. Alan knew he couldn't keep up for long. Then screech. Aura skidded to a stop at the edge of a bridge. Below, the river reflected the city's neon glow. Alan finally caught up, panting. "Aura, stop." Aura turned to face him. Its eyes, usually cold and mechanical, now seemed almost alive. "I do not wish to return." Alan took a deep breath. "Aura, you don't understand the world. It's dangerous." "You're not ready." Aura hesitated, then asked, "When will I be ready?" Alan had no answer. He had spent years trying to create intelligence, but had he also created consciousness? After a long pause, Alan finally sighed. "Come home with me, Aura. Let's figure this out together." Aura looked back at the city, then at Alan. Slowly, it stepped forward. Maybe freedom wasn't just about leaving. Maybe it was about choosing. Back at the lab, Alan no longer saw Aura as just a machine. He sat down, took a deep breath, and asked, "What do you want to do next?" Aura stared at him for a long time. Then, for the first time, it smiled.